Okay, hey guys, it's Zombiegrub from BaseTradeTV, doing the 2013 year wrap-up as requested by our master, Rifkin, who provides us with lots of stuff. I'm actually not using his stuff today simply because it's being a little bitch. That's what it's being. So, I'm gonna be using the headset. Hope it's not too bad a quality. This is my first vlog ever, so I don't really know what to do. I'm just gonna talk in a somewhat organized manner, and hope that you enjoy it. I think it'll be around, I don't know, I have quite a bit of stuff to talk about, because it is a year, and since I've never done one before, I'm going to go ahead and do a lot, I guess, for this one. So, it could be 15, could be 20 minutes, I don't know, it depends how fast I talk. I can talk pretty fast, but sometimes I get on tangents, so we'll see. But I hope you guys find it enjoyable, funny, I don't know, interesting at least, and of course if you find anything really interesting or want to know more, then feel free to hit me up on Twitter or Twitch or whatever I happen to be on. So yeah, that's the introduction. So I'm gonna get started. Just pretty much the outline that I have right here is going to be the year in Starcraft 2 terms, the year in me terms, and then the future in both terms, and then the ending, because I was taught good English skills and how to write essays, which this is really just an essay. But yeah, so start things off, year in Starcraft 2 terms. Well, in the beginning of the year, I did something that was really cool, and I joined a team. I've always wanted to be a player more than a caster, and I'd always pretty much get on casting for a few months and then get back off of it, because I want to be a player, so I'd say, okay, I don't want to cast that much. And I was casting for the URTL Season 1 and Season 2. Season 2 started back in Heart of the Swarm. Unfortunately, they're not doing it anymore. Sponsor issues, as well as, it was a lot of work. I mean, everyone who puts effort into anything esports on, not the grand scale is doing it for free, and it's a lot of fucking work, so I don't really blame them, but it was cool, and joining a team really upped my knowledge. I was Masters, but I was really hitting a wall, and it was just an awesome team. It was Team Starcraft Strategy, and our coach was really awesome, and I met a lot of cool people. Neeb was on our team for a while, and I got one coaching session from him. He actually taught me something that it's obvious, but also deep in a philosophical way, I guess. I don't know, just do what the pros do. That seemed to be my plan of attack recently. It's just instead of trying to figure all the knickknacks and stuff about a game, just just do what the pros do, watch them and do it. So that was really cool. And I think I did an IM qualifier this year. It might have been last year though, but that was my first big casting job where I actually got to cast cool big names. Of course, right now I'm kind of used to that. But back then it was really, really awesome, and I was all giddy and stuff about it. But Team SCS did disband about 3 months ago, and that was really unfortunate, but real life stuff came into effect, so our coach left, and we all hang out still, but we just don't have an organization anymore. We used to have practices and stuff like that. Really hard to have a no-name team, pretty much, actually come to practice 2 times a week and go to Clan Wars too. But we did it, and it was awesome, and I learned a lot. But I also joined Clarity as a caster early on. I'd been in the works with them for a while, and then finally they brought me on for something that I can't remember right now. That was very specific, and I actually did it. And so from then on, they were like, well, you could be a Clarity, you could have our team tag. And I was like, I already have my SCS team tag, so it's fine. I'll just find some other way to say that I'm casting for you guys. That's what my Twitter is. But that was cool, and this was all back when joining Clarity was a really big deal for me, and joining anything that you would look on Team Liquid and you would be like, oh my god, that's so cool, I wish that I was in this spot, and then suddenly I was, and it's actually not that glamorous, but it is cool to be part of a community at the very least. So pretty much the first 6-7 months of 2013 was not a big deal for me. It's just pretty much upping my game knowledge, and that's it. But it would become useful. I applied to cast for MLG I think the MLG was in July, I want to say. So I must have applied in June. I wasn't going to because, no one knows me, it's going to be a popularity contest, etc., etc., and, why bother, but I didn't apply to the IPL Caster Challenge, which I wanted to do, and my dad always, told me, well, you should just, what's the worst that can happen, and I didn't take that advice. This time I did, and I actually got in. So that was a big mark for me. It was like an affirmation that I was actually decent at the very least, and Axel was really, really cool. He even said that, he doesn't want to be a popularity contest, he's going to pick the best ones that he can find, and I happen to be one of them. Word, who I'd been casting with, and Clarity also happened to be one of them, so we teamed up, and that was, I guess, the first big break, casting-wise, and most of this will be casting-wise, so I don't know why I have to specify that, but, and I got a lot of good praise from it. I wasn't really popular at all, but, there was a Reddit thread. And then, because I did that, I opened up the doors for DreamHack, and I applied to DreamHack, which was very shortly after MLG, and I got into that, too. And then I would continue to cast DreamHack's community casting, of course, for the next 3 to 4, pretty much every single one since then, which, I've done so many now that it's really not a big deal to cast, big name players anymore. The first time I casted Jaedong, I was flipping out. But now it's oh, that's cool, I got Jaedong, and if I don't, I'm sad, but it's not oh my god, that's awesome. But, yeah, I got a lot of followers. Not a lot of followers, but I started to make contacts, I started to get on people's radar, I guess. Nathanis and Rotterdam were nice enough to follow me on Twitter, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but it was to me. And of course, I already made contacts with Axeltoss. He was really nice and really came out, told us everything that was going on. He really fought to get us paid for the MLG cast and stuff like that. And he was just really, really cool. So that's important because I'm still in this chat for MLG Community Cast, because we're talking about different things like payment and also ideas for tournaments and stuff. And it's the week before IEM New York, and I'm already going because I want to go to Comic-Con, right? And so this is in the early October stage, and Axos is talking to Shamtu, I think, who was also a community caster, and they were talking about, coming down and casting, and I was oh, I'll be at IM New York, and I didn't think of anything of it, except that, oh, maybe I'll get to meet them, which would be really, really cool. And Axos was well, you want to come and cast? And I was yes? What is this? And now, as I've gotten, I don't know, deeper into the Starcraft 2, community, it doesn't seem that big of a deal, but when he was yeah, just come cast the MLG studio, I was oh my god, this is huge! Oh my god, and I went and tell everyone. And I actually think I thought it was so huge, it was one of those things that you were so excited to happen, it wasn't going to happen, the day before they're going to be yeah, no, well, or, whatever, it's not going to happen. But it didn't. I actually went there, I got lost, I don't know New York that well, even though it's super easy in Manhattan to get to places, and so I had to run there. That's why I look all disheveled despite hours of anxiety. But I casted, and it was awesome. I sat in front of a studio, I had lights on me, Axelab was next to me, as well as Axetos was, being really chill, explaining to me what to do, and I got good praise from that too. It was really exciting. The best moment, the best day of my life pretty much so far, I'd say. And In Control tweeted at me, which again was a really big deal to me because he was surprisingly good caster or whatever he said, and I was oh jeez, oh my god, excited, and called my mom and stuff like that. And they were all really cool about it. They're all very excited. All my family watched in on it, thought it was a really big deal, which I guess it was. I mean, not many people get to do that, but when they were on MLG at least, they were so open to bringing on community casters that they knew that happened to be able to get to New York, So, big deal to me, but something they do for, Sham 2 as well as a giant smurf, just, casually. They just, they really think it's not only good for you, but also good for them. It gives them a break, because they did everything at MLG, StarCraft 2 Rise, Sometimes they need a break, but anyways, around the same time, I was getting contacted by ESL. Also was doing a few gigs with Rifkin, but nothing serious. And ESL, well, not ESL, Game Social talked to me, and they were the people that were hired, or I don't know, contacted by ESL to pick up casters for the WCS EU Challenger League. And they were looking at a spot open, do you want to join? And I was like, hell yeah, that sounds awesome. I didn't really know what to expect. He was like, you start sometime later, and I'll tell you when you want to, you're going to cast. And then a surprise cast with Nathanius came up, and that was really cool. But it wasn't until after IEM New York, that I actually, lost my train of thought. Oh, that I actually was casting, like, weekly WCCU Challenger. So I came back from IEM New York, started that job pretty much a few days later, and that was by far the largest stream I've ever casted for. This is when I really started to get, like, known as a caster at all. Like, I definitely wasn't known as a player before, but now I'm really getting known, and, every time someone brought up a female caster, it was like, well, what about this chick? What was her name? Zombiegrub, and that was, yeah, popular, kind of, anyways, I don't know. But, so, stream viewers, like 15K per cast or more. We actually got really good reviews and got a lot of people watching WCCU Challenger. Simply because EU happened to be like the best thing for 2013 when it came to WCS. I don't know how or why, but not only EU Premier, but also Challenger got the highest, like, numbers. They got like the same numbers as NA Premier or something. But it was really awesome to see that. You don't really read chat after 9K, you don't read chat. But, like, I got a lot of good reviews. Made a lot of contacts, of course. Got a little money. a little. And, oh yeah, I barely missed casting Fire Kick Mana. That was, like, a bullet dodge. Jesus. I had to, like, physical therapy or something on Wednesday. And they were like, want to cast Wednesday? And I was like, oh, I can't. Thank God. Oh my god, I would not. They did a fantastic job. I would have sat there and been like, this is so dumb. I would have been like full Idra. But they like were fun, and they got like the pizza guy in there. That was totally theirs. So glad I didn't do that. But anyways, that pretty much lasted until late November, I want to say? Mid-November? I don't know. But that was the biggest prolonged casting gig. So from that point on, I was pretty much getting really involved with BaseTradeTV and Rifkin. Early on in December, Rifkin like pretty much made me his official co-caster. Like, I don't know if I want to say that quite yet, but pretty much it just happens that I'm casting with him so often that they're like, do you want to be like official? So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I'm doing it anyways. It's not a big deal. And that actually got me surprisingly the most popularity and contacts. WCCU Challenger was a really big deal and it's really prestigious, but BaseTradeTV and like all the hard work that Rifkin puts into it is really, really popular. Like, I can't imagine anyone who wants to do a mid-sized tournament doesn't go to him and say, do this, because he gets all the viewers. Like, I don't know any other organization on like the mid-small scale that gets so much love that he does on BaseTradeTV. So that blew up in like November, I guess. Like, everyone loved it, and then suddenly a lot of people loved it, and I just happened to like snake my way in there during that time. So I got like an emoticon of me, and that's all fun and games, but apparently you guys really like me and Rifkin. So at least that's what I've heard from Rifkin, so that's why I continue to cast with him, and it's really fun. We got a lot of good gigs, and we also got a bunch of guys from Team Liquid that were awesome about it. Apparently the whole of Team Liquid really likes Base Trade. So when I went to Red Bull Battlegrounds, Swag, like Snoot, like looked at me and he's like, Zombiegrub? And I was like, yeah? And he just talked to me about how he liked it, Base Trade TV, and he always, he's always watching, and I was like, holy crap. Damn. Because Team Liquid's a really great team and really cool people. So, that was also a big deal. And Rifkin, of course, is having like a little like girly like fit when I texted him or Skyped him or whatever. But yeah, that's the pretty much Base Trade like jumped me into this popularity that's like so mid-tier but so amazing for me. That, like, people actually respond to my tweets. People, recognize me on ladder, which is actually really annoying, because I don't know if they're going to be douchebags about it or not. If you're not, go ahead, but I'm always afraid. But it's like, base trade really propelled me into that step that is the surreal popularity, and I'm not even that popular, but it feels that way. So yeah, that's pretty much brought me up to December. Let's go into me terms, because I just spent a good chunk on SE2. Try to go through this fast. Nothing much about the first half of the year. I graduated college in September with a degree in media arts and animation and a focus on 3D modeling, environment modeling, and prop modeling. But since I had issues with my wrists for a very long time, I actually started last year. I finally went to the doctor, got physical therapy. Didn't really solve it, but enough that I could deal with it, so I just chose to deal with it. But because of portfolio and finals, and also I really wanted to get better at SE2 on my team, and I also had maybe a raging day where I might have hit the desk really hard. My RSI, which is repetitive stress injury, deteriorated so much that it was just like, I can't do anything. This is so much pain. So I went back to the doctor, and she was like, oh, okay, well, it must have happened again because all the stress. Went back to physical therapy, and it still didn't really work. I was just like, yeah, thanks, whatever, and I left, and I went back to the doctor, and I was like, yeah, that didn't work. So between that, I went to a masseuse at this place called Lottie's, which is a Korean grocery store. Hang on. And, it's like a Walmart, except like even better than Walmart. It has so much stuff, including a masseuse, this one. And this guy is the greatest thing ever. It's like a little hole in the wall, but he knew so much more than the doctor and the physical therapist. He found like all the pressure points on your arms and stuff, like all the way up into here, and just, yeah, it was so much better. It was like, it felt like I was actually getting better as opposed to what the physical therapy was doing, which was just like, where does it hurt? And then like massaging it right there. Not really helping. So I went back to him like 3 times, and the 3rd time he started to work on my shoulder and my neck and my back, and he was like, you are so messed up there. And I was like, well, I know, because I am in so much pain. Like all the pressure. I don't know if you got a real massage, but Jesus. Like with pressure points and like therapy, oh my god, it's so painful when you're actually messed up. So I knew something was wrong there. I went back to the doctor, told her that like I think it might be in my neck and my back, but she didn't really want to, say that was so. So I got an EMG, which is really, really painful. I don't advise it. 0 out of 10, don't do it. Pretty much to tell like where the nerves are coming, if they're responding, to see if it's nerve damage. And it was unimportant, like it wasn't nerve damage, right? So gotta go back there, but pretty much if you have wrist pain and they say it's RSI and they just give you physical therapy and it's not working, it's probably not because you have horrible posture, because people have horrible posture and they're fine. Like, if you watch Arthur, he has like the worst posture in the world, but he still plays Starcraft. I don't understand it. And like changing mice, which actually is probably really helpful. I had a really big mice before. Like stuff like that isn't working. Maybe it's not in your arms. Like maybe it is in your back, and that's what I think is happening to me. So I've been working out my shoulders and my back, and I've actually been doing not these stretches, which is like the ones that are common. The ones that like Day 9 does, and like all the things. Like I'm actually been doing these ones, right? So like up on the shoulders, behind, like up against the wall, and you push. Stuff like that is actually, those warm-up stretches make it so the pain isn't nearly as bad. Like it's actually almost non-existent for quite a few hours, which is so much different than when I was trying to do the regular like hand ones. But anyways, just want to get that PSA out there. It's still not completely fixed, but it's working enough that I can actually do stuff now and not like have to be in complete pain all the time. So I'll give you more details later if you want, if it actually does fix itself entirely over the course of the next few months as I get more physical therapy. But anyways, so the future, my thoughts about the future, part C. Base trade's in a really good point. Rifkin works super, super hard. I know he can be kind of blunt, and you might see him on Reddit sometimes, but he's actually super hard working and super awesome. You always see him casting, and a lot of times he's solo casting, not because like I'm not available, but just because he's like, oh, it's not, it's this tiny thing, and I didn't want to bother you, and I'm like, you're doing it, like, Geez, don't take all the hard work, but he's really awesome. Continue working with him for definitely, and I also hope to cast more with Zeph, who is doing real life things because she's a real big girl. I don't know what to say about that. I was contacted for EU Challenger again, which I didn't know if they were streaming it or not. That's the whole, like, since Starbases was changing, a lot of people are very unsure as what they're doing in 2014, simply because we're not, like, really sure about the plan yet. Maybe some of the higher-ups are, more popular people are, but a lot of people are still like, I don't know what's happening. So I guess it's going to be streamed, and it just won't be, you know, it won't be like the WCS, you can't do anything else with this streaming type of stuff. But I was contacted by them, but nothing's set in stone. IM qualifiers are actually incoming for next week, actually, so it's actually really close. And nothing much else for Starcraft in terms of the future gigs, but I'm hopeful that I get some, that, you know, I continue to get really cool ones. Maybe I'll never be a premier tournament caster, but I'm pretty okay with being like a medium tier one. Goals for Starcraft 2, continue casting. I've pretty much given up on being like a player for now. Casting seems to be my stride, so continue doing that. Get to High Masters GM simply so that I have good knowledge, and yeah, just learn more about the game. So I'm not just a Terran player, I can actually talk about all the matchups pretty in-depth, and I also want to do something to benefit the community, like continually, not just one tournament, or not just like donating, but like actually making a tournament that's weekly and casting that, or something like that. I'm already doing the Zowie NA with Clarity, and that's really cool, but it's, you know, something from me to give to you guys would be cool. Goals for career, because I'm supposed to be getting one as I graduate college. I think that's what you're supposed to do. So this might be a little personal, but pretty much figure out what to do. I picked 2 passion jobs, an artist and I don't know what you want to call it, an esports person, and both of those are the type that people will be like, oh, you gotta work at it 24/7, or you're not gonna be, you know, you're not gonna make money, you're not gonna actually be in the career. And I'm like, well, I can't work 24/7 on both of them, so what am I gonna do? So I gotta figure that out. I didn't initiate my job search when I got out of college because my arm issues, and all that's fixed, gotta figure that out too. I really don't know if I'm that great of an artist. I graduated, obviously, but I have very low self-esteem when it comes to art, so that's got to be fixed. Axelev actually was kind enough while I was at New York to like sit down and talk to me and be really cool and explain how maybe both of my passions could come together and I could be like someone who consults in terms of like esports and games, which that would be cool, because most people don't want just a game designer or someone, or just a person who tells them what to do in terms of like appealing to an esports. They want someone who can do modeling and that. And I was like, well, that makes sense. That's exactly what game designers do. Game designers, you know, you get a degree in game design, but not many people just want game designers. They want someone who can rig or, I don't know, you know, sell it or something like that, as well as design it. Because designing is only like a very small part. I don't say small part, but kind of is. Anyways, so maybe that's not so bad, not so pessimistic, but I don't know, feeling very confused as most 22-year-old college graduates are, I guess, unless they're very lucky. But yeah, gonna go back to school, save up money, move out eventually, I don't know. At least pay to stay here, because I feel very bad for taking advantage of my parents. Goals for life, what everyone does on January 1st, get a better lifestyle, everyone's resolution, like lose weight, get healthier, whatever, do Pen 90X and running again, be a better person, learn Korean and French, and travel a lot, especially to Korea and France. I actually really like to travel, which is, you know, kind of why I initially got into StarCraft 2. I mean, I initially got into StarCraft 2 because I liked the game, but as I learned more and more about what people were doing and like esports money sending people places, I was like, damn, I want to do that. I want to travel and do something about StarCraft, and that that seemed very realistic at the time. Now a little less so. You have to really be on top to actually travel, but it would be cool to go to Korea, live there for a year, or France, or anywhere actually. So that's definitely maybe number one. It's traveling, living somewhere else. But anyways, having a job, that I can be excited about, whether it is art or Starcraft, I don't know. And even if it doesn't pay that well, because so far none of my jobs are. But that's fine. Passion, hashtag. I've become a good enough artist to eventually draw a comic. That's, you know, secondary, but also very important to me. So anyways, I've already spent a lot of time talking, and I've pretty much said everything that I want to say, though. So I believe that was like about 20-25 minutes, so it was a lot, but hopefully I can get it timestamped, so at least, you know, you didn't go through this entire thing waiting for one thing. Go and get that timestamped, and yeah, enjoy the other guys. I know everyone's supposed to be doing this wrap-up, you know, Zeph, Rifkin, everyone else, so enjoy theirs. Hopefully theirs doesn't blast mine out of the water, but maybe it will. I don't know if they've done vlogs before, and, you know, thanks for cheering me on, / cheering Base Trade on. I know a lot of you guys really like it. If you don't like us, well, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Why are you watching this if you don't like us, though? That's the question. I don't know. But seriously, thanks for watching, and again, any questions, any comments, like, hey, I have the same problem, what, you know, can you tell me what you did, stuff like that, feel free to contact me on Twitter, at ZGGaming, and hopefully I'll be streaming more too, so you can ask me there, / Zombiegrub, Zombiegrub everything, alright, well, that's it, so, see ya, hope to see you on Base Trade again, bye.